Okay, so yeah, I know there's a heat warning in effect. Yeah, I know, but we're gonna have thunderstorms too. We got a thunderstorm watch up to, like, can you not get the back lawn cut today? All right, yeah, thanks. Sometimes talking to my wife is difficult. Welcome to season 3, episode 25 of Niagara 411 Live with Sterry. That would be me. We are powered by WeeStreem. That would be Kevin behind this fabulous camera. We are fueled by Gale's gas bars, which we are thankful for, as per usual. Also supported by Performance Heating and Air. Carlo and the gang, thank you very much, and as well as Verge Insurance Group here in St. Catharines. And yeah, we have a beautiful hot summer day, but there's a heat warning in effect, so you got to be careful with that. We may have some thunderstorms between now and 2-ish, 3-ish, maybe a little bit later, so you got to watch out for those. And we are going in right now to the much cooler and wonderfully tasteful Fiddler's Poorhouse to do season 3, episode 25 of Niagara 411 Live with Sterry. I can feel cooler already. But you know what? There is nothing out there that we have to shovel. So this is a good thing. We're going to have Local Louie coming in a little bit later on in the program. We're going to clear up some misperceptions, maybe that's the right way to put it, from last week's program before we get started and on into anything else. And don't forget, this show is your show. It is live. It is in the moment. And you can think of this as a video talk show where you can call in, click in. All you need is a camera and an audio connection on your laptop or your tablet or even your cell phone. And you can come in and talk to us. You can have a debate with us. You can bring up a new topic. It is your program, be you in Waitfleet or Ford area or Niagara Falls or St. Catharines or Grimsby or Port Colborne or Welland or wherever you are in Niagara. This is your platform, live every single week, and we'll tell you how you can get involved with that in just about 30 seconds. Come on, Lynn. And as I said, welcome into season 3, episode 25. And we got one of those, what I call puddle summer days here in Niagara. By that I mean you can stand in one spot, and with the humidity that we experience here in southern Ontario and in Niagara in particular, you can stand in one place and just become a puddle because you perspire whether you want to or not. It is humid. It's about 31, 32 degrees right now. Probably feels about 38 or 39 or 40 or somewhere in there. Anyway, it's hot, it's humid, it's sticky, and there is that thunderstorm watch in place for Niagara. Glad to be back here at Fiddler's Poorhouse. And Kevin Jack, ladies and gentlemen, is with us as well. And there he is on the right-hand side of your screen of WeeStream. We stream this program each and every week. We are here on a Wednesday again. Our normal days, we try to keep on Thursdays, but as you know, life is what happens when you're making plans to do other things. And every now and then, Kevin has other work to do, and here we are. We're on Wednesday because this program actually airs in its entirety once per week. And then, of course, it is archived in its entirety on Niagara 411. Hi, Nick, by the way. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure to partner with you on that. Hi to Nick's mom. And so you can watch the entire show in its entirety forever and a day because it's archived forever. Plus, throughout the course of the week, we do In Case You Missed It posts whereby we take sections of the program and we put them up on Niagara 411 Live. And you can watch individual shorter pieces of the program. So we make it as easy as we possibly can for you to be involved with the content. Now, the first post that Kevin put up there was about Fermin, and he was a gentleman that was unfortunately killed when he and two other fellow cyclists were hit by a vehicle a couple of weeks ago. And there was a GoFundMe page put up. They're now at $52,000, and they had a goal of $20,000 to help defray the costs of his funeral. Now, whether that involved his transportation back to Mexico, whatever that's being used for, it will be all up and above board for sure. Kevin, there was a little bit of confusion during our report on this story, as well as after our report on this story. And because we try to ensure the fact that what we do here is entirely transparent, we have no real dog in the fight of any story. It's nothing that we're trying to slant one way or the other. So how we reported it last week is that there were 3 cyclists hit by a white Ford Edge. Now, the way we received the information, and I get the fact that interpretation is important, and perhaps we interpreted some of the information not exactly how it was intended, but there you go. At first it appeared, and this included news releases by the NRPS as well as others, it indicated in a way that the vehicle didn't stick around, but that is incorrect. The driver of that white Ford Edge did remain at the scene. So if there was any difficulty caused by the driver of that vehicle, that's unfortunate. But yes, the vehicle did remain at the scene, and we just wanted to clarify the fact that the information we received here was really quite diverse and confusing. So it appeared at first, the way it was worded, that it was a hit and run, but it was not. So we still don't know the ins and outs of how this happened, because one of the other pieces of information, of course, is the fact that there have been no charges laid in this
I think
incident.
That was the most confusing part, I think, Lee. But we also don't know the circumstances. Out on 7th, there's now I don't want to call it beautiful because it's a tragedy, but a nice roadside vigil has been erected with some photos of Fermin, and other people have been leaving things there, and it's very encouraging to see. Look at that, $52,000 raised, and that's going to his family back in Mexico. Leaves behind a wife and 3 children. I think 11, 9, and 2. It's just absolute heartbreaking. And
I know it's a tragic situation emotionally, but financially and logistically for his family, because he was here earning money for his family back there, so you know that they weren't all that wealthy when he was back in Mexico. So that money will come as a great help, I hope, to the family. And for any confusion that existed, we just wanted to readdress that because it was kind of murky at the time what was going on. We also had a few derogatory comments, and that's fine. I mean, you're more than welcome to comment on the show however you see fit. One of the things, though, that did bother me a little bit is the fact that there was a fellow said, "Oh, how can you call them these people?" Going back to the whole Don Cherry kind of reference. Well, I did not refer to them as these people, I don't think. But if I did, it was in a different vernacular. And Kevin, I think it is absolutely true. What my point is the fact that these migrant workers that come to Niagara year after year after year and have done so for decades are a segment of our society that are almost like the faceless citizens of Niagara. We know that these people, these people. We know that these workers, these citizens, the word "these" is not a bad thing, depending on how you say it. What my point is that we, as longtime citizens of Niagara, we don't necessarily pay as much attention to our migrant workers and citizens as we probably should. They're there. We know they're there. We meet them. We say hi. We're polite. But they live on a whole different world, or sort of level, if you will, from a visual standpoint. And a lot of them do ride bicycles. They don't need to buy cars. They can't afford to buy cars. So if they're not transported by somebody else from one place to another, they do use bicycles. And it would still be good to know, Kevin, what the circumstances of this particular happening were, because there were 3, not just one. And as we understand it, Fermin was walking his bicycle at the time. How this horrible thing actually occurred, I guess it's just curiosity, because it's not going to make any difference to our lives or his, of course, if we know. But it would be interesting to know how it occurred.
Yeah, they said that the 3 guys were on their way back from a social gathering in Port Dalhousie, and were just making their way back.
Because they were on 7th Street, right?
Yeah, and if people are thinking, right there at 7th and the QEW, just south of the QEW, there's Woodlawn School. And I'm assuming the roadside vigil would have been erected probably where the accident took place.
Right.
And it was just beyond the school, so just south of the school on the west side, so right on that side of the road.
It's kind of a complex array of streets and hills and dales that are at play there. Anyway, no more conjecture on our part. We just wanted to acknowledge the fact that lest we did any harm to the driver of the vehicle did remain on the scene, and the authorities are doing and did what they do. It doesn't change the fact that we lost Fermin Soto Sanchez, and we're sorry about that. But we're happy that Niagara stepped up and did contribute $52,000 at this point to help his family defray the costs of bringing Fermin back home. So there was that. Kevin?
Lee, you know what? On the heels of that, there were some people that commented on our In Case You Missed It post who seemed very close to either the family, the organization, the company, and we would encourage those people to come on the program.
Exactly.
Like, we're here doing our best.
That's one of the things that, because this is a rather new medium that we're using here, it may have taken a while to convince you that you are welcome to please join the conversation in real time and come on and talk to us and correct us if that is the required course of action. All you have to do is click on that Zoom link that is in the post. You'll go into our 411 Live green room, Zoom room, if you will, and Kevin will make sure that you've got your audio and video sorted, and then we'll go live. You're not going to just pop on live right away, so you don't have to worry about that. And for example, last week, if you were watching this program and you say, no, that's not right, you got it wrong, well, call and tell us we got it wrong, like in the moment.
Yeah, we want to get it right. And we know we reached out to the organizer of the GoFundMe, who works for the florist that Fermin and his buddies worked for there, and had a conversation with him off air. He wasn't comfortable with coming on air, so it's not like we didn't look out to try and find more information.
Indeed, that's
all
true.
We had to go on was NRP releases, maybe some conjecture. Yeah. We don't really like to share that, and details in the GoFundMe. But we saw people comment that knew more than the rest of us knew, and we would love to get that information.
Yeah, like
out
after
there.
the fact, after we go off the air at 1:30, if we see a comment online that says, "No, you got it wrong," well, if you're watching this, keep in mind we're not going to persecute you for coming on and correcting us or giving us more information than we had going in. Please use the click. Come on, say hello. You're going to look fine on camera. Don't worry about, it's just you do video things with your friends or your family, or you do duos or whatever it is. So just do the same thing with us. That's all it is. And we would love at any time for you to come on and say, hey, Lee, here's the real deal. You're not entirely right about what you're doing. Here's the real skinny on what's going on. And that goes to anything, not just this story, anything at all, because Kevin and I talked about this at the very outset of this program. Media gets a lot of criticism because people say that it's slanted or it's one-sided or you're not balanced or you do this or you whatever. That is entirely what we want to battle every week in this show, because if there is a perspective that isn't ours, tell us what it is. And we can all learn something from it. We can all learn from each other. And you have a voice here, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. One of the things that Facebook and social media has done for people is the fact that it's given them a voice. But all too often, it is an anonymous voice, and it's all too easy to just type something in and then walk away, where you don't have to engage someone in legitimate, intelligent conversation and debate, and that's all we're after. We're not here to argue with you. We're not here to demean anybody. We're not here to tell you that you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. We're here to learn from you. Yeah, and Lee, that's what we're here for.
I think here's a perfect example. You and I don't know the answer to this next question, and that's whether or not that gun
perfect question
is a real gun, and we don't know.
Now that is a perfect example of and I realize that our Niagara Regional Police Service does their best to keep us informed, and they send out these news releases, etc. But this one was very nebulous in its, that's a big word, eh? I'm going through the N's in the dictionary this week. It was very murky in its description of what happened. This guy was spotted in an apartment complex with a gun. It was reported to the police. The police showed up. Indeed, there was a fellow with what appeared to be a firearm, and he became locked into, at his own accord, into his apartment in this complex. So after 4 hours, it was resolved peacefully. Nobody was hurt. But in the news release, the police referred to this as a gold and yellow, or a black and yellow replica handgun. Now,
yeah, it says right there, recovered a replica black and silver pistol.
Well, it didn't look silver in the line. I thought they said yellow once or gold. But anyway, a two-tone gun. Replica. Now, here's where the rubber hits the road with regard to confusion on social media, is what is meant by replica. I understand that by its truest form, replica means, in other words, somebody else makes a computer and they got a little Apple cutout on the front, etc. So it would be an Apple MacBook Pro replica. But is it an operative piece of machinery, or is it a pretend piece of machinery? Right, so this was not made clear in the. So was this a real gun that was made to look like, I don't know, another Glock or whatever the hell it is, or was it a pretend gun? That they didn't say that.
And the terms I would use, Lee, are replica versus knockoff, right? What you're describing to me is a knockoff, but I don't know if that's a term the police would use. So I think a replica gun.
So this is you would say this is a pretend gun.
I'd say that's a pretend gun. It does not fire bullets.
It's like a plastic gun.
Like a plastic. It could be made out of metal, but that thing doesn't fire.
That's not necessarily what replica means.
No, it's not. That's my interpretation.
It could be a real gun made to look like a Smith & Wesson from 1842.
Right, and as I say that, oh no, that's just a fake gun. It doesn't fire anything. It makes me wonder, why would anybody ever have one then? What's the purpose?
And why did it take 4 hours? Like, if it was a plastic, but they didn't know that when the guy was in. But see, now these are the things. If you're watching this right now and you're saying to yourself, Lee, Kevin, I know what that is. I know what they meant by replica. I know it's either a real gun, but made to look like another brand, or it's a gun that's made to look like a real gun that's a fake and it doesn't shoot bullets. Like, what is it? The cops did not make that clear. Same thing as the release last week with the white Ford Edge. It was not crystal clear as to what happened after that vehicle struck those cyclists. So this is where we can use your clarity. And all you got to do is, like I said, click on that Zoom link, come in and say, hey, here's clarification. Thanks, and off you go. That would be very helpful to us and helpful to Niagara because a lot of people have these questions. We ask the questions. We don't necessarily have all the answers.
I mean, that thing looks as real as can be.
Yeah, it does. It still looks a little glitzy, though. I mean, look at the long snout on it. Look at G&G. What does it say? G&G armament. Now, I'm not a gun person. I used to belong to gun clubs. I like to fire guns at targets, etc.
That looks like it would fire.
It looks like the real deal.
Does anybody know?
Very long barrel for a handgun. But
does anybody know? Does anybody know what the NRPS mean when they say replica handgun? Is it a gun that fires?
If you are out there watching this thing and you're screaming, "I know what it is," well, please call and tell us what it is.
Now, I'm going to look up, what was it, G&G Armament?
G&G Armaments. And I find this a coincidental story. A number of weeks ago, could have been a number of months ago, I lose track of time. All of the weeks tend to blend together sometimes. You know what that's like when you're busy. It's like, was that 2 years ago? Was it 10 years ago? Or was it last week? I'm just trying to remember. Well, this story kind of falls into that category for me in the fact that there is a long-standing business, 72 years in its location, the Fry Guys on Lake Street in St. Catharines. Known all the time I was growing up as Guy's Fish and Chips.
Yeah, now Lee, hold off on that.
Okay,
but I want to talk about that because there's a huge development on Fry Guys, right? And we want to get to that.
Oh,
but I think I think.
So you found something.
I think we're both right. So here's just a quick Google search on G&G armament.
Oh, it's like a BB gun.
It's an airsoft. So
it's a pellet gun.
Well, no, airsoft. Yeah, basically, I think airsoft is like the next generation of what paintball was. Because paintball, if you've ever been paintballing, it hurts. So I think they moved to airsoft.
But okay.
So I think it's like here below.
But
G&G a good airsoft brand?
We referred to pellet guns and BB guns when I was a kid as air guns because the either the pellets or the BBs, and usually the pellets were more powerful. They had more oomph. Were powered by air, as opposed to combustive material like gunpowder.
So here's G&G armament.
Okay, so these and that was an assault rifle that it just showed right there. But but these are not bullet projecting guns.
I think they're airsoft guns.
Okay, but what do they shoot you with?
Airsoft bullets. And I couldn't tell you what those are. I've never done airsoft, but it's the next generation.
Does that mean like rubber bullets?
I think so, or like something that doesn't hurt you. It's the next generation of paintball.
But what crowd control officers would use,
no,
like rubber
bullets? It's more for people that used to do paintball, now do airsoft.
Okay. And they're made to look like honest-to-goodness brand name weapons of whatever design they're copying. They're replicating, as it were.
Yeah, here, I'll see if I can pull up their... here you go.
Okay, so this guy's got a glorified paintball gun.
Yeah, pretty much.
And he was walking around an apartment building with it. People reported him. Cops show up. He bars himself in his apartment, and 4 years later... 4 years. Listen to me. 4 hours later...
sure, so here they are right
he's
here.
Out. Okay.
Well, they haven't posted in a while. Their 2015 photo competition is now open.
Well,
what's your favorite G&G
that goes
gun?
to 13. I don't think we're dealing with credible, up-to-date information here.
Gosh, look at this stuff.
Yeah. It's no wonder that people get enamored about firearms. Gee. Now, can you imagine what would happen if somebody was carrying one of those things, around a school, especially in the United States? He'd probably be dead within 10 minutes. But, man, why do people make that stuff look...
I'll tell you, it's a good way to get yourself shot.
That's what I'm saying.
You're bringing a pellet gun to a gunfight.
That's what I'm saying.
And I mean, credits to the NRP, right? How many stories have we seen like this south of the border? Imagine the situation. They said that the guy was located in the lobby holding that gun. I mean, I think this guy's lucky to be alive. And credit to the officers for
spending 4 hours talking this guy out of the trees in his apartment.
I think, we've seen too many incidents and videos where there's a 5-cent solution.
When they were talking to this guy, I wonder if he said, "It's not a real gun." Like, maybe. Okay, then again, I don't want to see. I do not want to CNN this thing. I don't want to say what ifs. I don't want to make up stories. So all we know is what we know, and it looks like that replica, the firearm, was operative, but it wasn't operative as a bullet shooter deadly weapon. That's what it would appear.
Seems like an easy way to get yourself killed.
But it was a 4 hours and that wasn't that in the Grimsby area?
Yeah, I said North Service Road, so it might have been Grimsby on the lake, Lee. I don't want to confuse the two.
I know an officer that works out of the Grimsby detachment. I kind of wonder if he was involved, but he wouldn't tell me anyway.
All right, now again, just going on what we know, and you tease this story a little bit.
Yeah, Fry Guys. The Fryin' Guys is the actual name of the business. We have known it ever since I was knee-high to a Coke bottle as Guy's Fish and Chips. And I always thought Guy was a guy, like Guy Jones or Guy Fawkes or whatever. I thought Guy was a guy. Nothing could be further from the truth. I grew up thinking that. But the business is the Fryin' Guy. And you'll see there on their Facebook page where it says temporarily closed. And Kevin and I looked at each other a little askance before the program because it wasn't all that long ago, Kevin, that we reported on an armed robbery at that Lake Street location of the Fryin' Guys, which is the only location they had or have at the time. And now it seems coincidental to me a few months later that they're closed and they're moving. They're relocating. 72 years, Kevin. The Fryin' Guys have been operating out of that Lake Street, St. Catharines location. Now, we wouldn't necessarily talk about a business. They're not paying us. They're not an advertiser of ours, but this is an institution in downtown St. Catharines. And after 72 years, they're moving? What's going on? Management of Fryin' Guys would like to thank our loyal customers for supporting us for the last 72 years. While we're sad to leave our community on Lake Street, we're excited for the opportunity to expand our brand and product. Our last day serving food at our current location will be, and that was about a week ago, June 12th, 2022. Kev, scroll up for me a little bit if you would. We will be temporarily closed while we transition to a new location that'll better serve our customers. Please continue to visit our website or follow us on social media for updates on our reopening. We look forward to serving you in the very near future. Kevin, a business move or a safety move? What do you think? Do we not want to be in a downtown core where our employees get threatened like they did a few months ago? What do you think?
I think it's probably more a business move, but you never know. I mean, maybe we'll try and track them down and find out the impetus.
Over the last 72 years, do you not think there would have been another business move strategy in place?
I don't know. I mean, I remember when it looked like this before they got their red paint job there. I mean, it was like this for years. And I mean,
well, yeah.
You would go there to get your fish and chips, and they'd wrap it up in newspaper still.
Of course.
I mean, the way that it's supposed to be done, they have all kinds of vinegars. Now, Lee, in addition to them being on the wrong end of an armed robbery, they're also just a street removed on Lake Street from the homicide of 2 weekends ago.
Yeah,
that was at Lake and Pleasant, and I think these guys are right in the kind of Albert area. I think they're 1 or 2 streets down from that shooting. 6 or 7 gunshots fired at 3:30 in the morning. So
yeah, Niagara, we've had some pretty violent episodes over the last little while. I'm not sure why it seems to be escalating a bit. Is it because the out-of-towners have discovered Niagara all through this COVID thing? Do we blame COVID for everything, or is it just the way society is evolving in this era in which we live? I don't know. But anyway, a downtown, and we do not know yet where they're moving. do we, Kevin? We have no inkling of where that location is going to be.
No, we don't. I did see, though, Lee. I drove by. Oh, man, there it is. All the delicious fish. I've eaten there so many times. I did
72 years of fish and chips. My God.
Canada Day. I mean, good neighbors, good neighborhood people. Right here, as I was driving by today, so the windows have like paper on them, and there's a sign there saying "Coming soon, Lake Street Subs."
Yeah, so there's a business going in there.
Yeah, another food place. So Lake Street Subs is going in there, but Frying Guys are going where? I don't know. They say that they're going to a new location to better serve you. I have no idea as to whether or not there's been a change of ownership, whether it's a family business for 72 years. I'm assuming they own the property. They didn't rent there, but I don't know, Lee. I really don't know.
Okay. Well, thank you for your service, the Frying Guys. Guys Fish and Chips, 72 years in the same spot. That's amazing. Truly amazing. Yeah, thanks for being part of our culture, and we look forward to patronizing you again, depending on where you're going. Kevin, another interesting story comes to us out of the Rose City of Welland, and this falls into that category of truth being stranger than fiction. When was the last time, and I throw this question out to anybody that's viewing this at the moment, when was the last time that you went to your vehicle and you put something on the trunk, or you put something on the roof of your car while you got in and got yourself organized, and then forgot that you had something on your car and you drove away? We've all done it. If you haven't done it, you're one of the very, very few, believe me. Usually it happened to me with coffees, and I would just I'd put a coffee or whatever it is, a water bottle or something on the top of the car and drive away, and it would be a mess and et cetera. But in this case, it was a box of money. If you lost money in a plastic box today in Welland, I saw what happened to it. PM me. Never saw anything like that before. The money is gone, but I can at least explain what happened. That was a Niagara 411 post. And Kevin, apparently this lady was going to deposit business receipts for the day. That's what we glean from this. And the box was on her car.
Right, so here's a piece of the box.
There's a piece of the plastic box.
You can see that's her plastic money box.
Yeah.
And then here's the story. So the power of Niagara 411, right? Rebecca put the first post up here to say, hey, look, I saw what happened to your money.
Yeah.
So we don't really know, but here you go. Here's a...
so the money update.
This is from Mama Misfits Cheesecakery.
Okay, so this was obviously where the money originated. Update, the money is gone. Thanks to all who shared and helped me figure out what happened to it. My own stupidity for getting distracted when I was putting my daughter in the car. See, these are the things that happen. Hopefully those who ended up with all that money use it as a blessing and pay it forward. Much love. Isn't that kind of a cool response? So here's a previous post alluding to what happened. Friends and followers, I could really use your help. About 45 minutes ago, I had a container that fell off the top of my car on Prince Charles and West Main Street in Welland. It was the cash box for my business and contained an envelope with a significant sum. I stupidly had it on the top of my car while I was putting my baby in the car and forgot about it. Could you please put the word out for me that if someone found it, they could kindly return it to me for a reward? All I have is a picture of the fragments of the box, which we just showed you a minute ago. All I have is a picture of the fragments of the box. I'm absolutely sick over it and hoping someone has it in their heart to return the money to me. Thank you. And you can imagine this is a small business. This is, it sounds like a one person dream shop at Mama Misfits Cheesecakery. And then, of course, this other person puts the post up. I can't get you your money back, but I can tell you what happened.
Right. So now we follow the path to Mama Misfits Cheesecakery's Facebook page.
As they say, follow the money.
So here's the actual post, right? And there's her, Mama Misfit,
yeah,
looking for help, saying, I got this.
And there's the chunk of the thing.
So here are 67 comments.
Where did she find the chunk? She must have gone back for it, Kevin.
Yeah, she went back
to find the chunk of the box.
And here we go. Hope this helps you. So here, somebody connected the post from Rebecca on Niagara 411 in the community tab and said, hey, maybe this person. Now I want to know what happened.
Oh, no, so sorry to hear this happened. Karma will get them eventually. Well, it's not going to get anybody. It just was one of those things. It's like a scene in a movie. If you're around and you see money flying all over the place, you're going to pick yourself up some. And that's what it was. I mean, it's...
Yes, I'm trying to get
people
to
picking stuff up.
Rebecca telling her the scene that she came upon.
Okay.
So here we go. Here's Rebecca.
Hi, everyone. I spoke with Caitlin. Sad situation. It must have dropped on Prince Charles Drive. As I came around the corner, I saw 5 to 7 people running. This must have looked like a bunch of chickens in a yard. 5 to 7 people running around the road, scavenging the money, stuffing it in their pockets, and I called 911. It was over in seconds, even before I could safely park. By the time the police got there, the people were gone. I had thought someone was injured and they were stealing that money. Why wouldn't you think something like that? You always think the worst when you see something. There was a woman with a walker there, so I thought it was her money. I said I called it in, but I am so sorry I couldn't do more. I was a minute too late. Maybe people could stop by and make a purchase to make up. Yeah, I was thinking about this, and now I see it in the post. Maybe people could stop by and make a purchase to make up for their people who were so happy to grab money and drive off. Edited to add, 3 NRP attended, but said little could be done. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of public fodder at that point. And it was interesting when we were started talking about this, talking about this story. I thought, well, Kevin, now maybe these people, or maybe all of us, could stop by at Mama Misfit's cheesecakery and buy something. Try to help her replace her lost revenue from this. So
here she goes. She's listed at 77 West Main Street in Welland.
Yeah, right downtown.
And I mean, look at some of the stuff. End of the year gift for the teacher. Great idea. We got to buy some. Maybe we'll stop by and see her.
Hey, look at that. Ooh, tarts. Love tarts.
Yeah, those look delicious, Mama Misfit.
Emma are some good-looking tarts.
Yeah, let's see.
You can get gift certificates.
Got in photos.
So it's a boutique bakery. Obviously, this woman does wonderful, tasty work.
Yeah, look at that. Is that like a cheesecake cup?
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day. Oh, this stuff looks deliciously.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you've got your net sales, or actually at that point in time it's your gross sales, because you're not quite sure what your net is at that point in time. You're a small business, and you have a busy life. You're putting your baby in the back of the car, getting her strapped into a car seat or whatever, and then you just get in and drive away with your daily or weekly, whatever it is, earnings on the roof of your car.
There, that's all she's got left of her money box.
I mean, that is a Lee kind of move. That is the kind of move I would make. I did a move like that yesterday, and it makes you wonder, where does your mind go? So my wife's, this true story. My wife says to me in the morning, I want to get a $25 gift certificate from PetSmart for my nephew because his birthday's coming up and they got cats and stuff. Okay, so I said, well, yeah, because I'll go to PetSmart, I'll do that, and our dog's kind of running out of hard food and soft food and stuff, so I'll shop for the dog at the same time I'm doing that. So I go in, I shop for the dog, I leave. What do I not do? I don't get the very thing I went for there in the first place, which was the $25 gift certificate that my wife asked me. So I'm almost home. Now I turn around and go back and I got to buy, at least I remembered it before I walked through the door. That would have been really embarrassing. I told her when I went in, I said I pulled a Lee thing. I did a Lee thing. It's just so typical of me that I would, and we all do things like that where you get distracted by something and you lose focus on sometimes your core function, your core reason for doing what you're doing. It's like somebody said, I can remember what the number one song was in 1969, but I can't remember why I came into the kitchen. You know, it's, and I feel sorry for this woman because she feels, I know she feels stupid, but you shouldn't feel stupid, man, for doing what you did, because we all do those things. All of us.
No, we had to track down once my wife, either my wife or myself, and I don't remember who. We left a cell phone on the back bumper of our car. So we retraced our steps, and we actually found it in the bush.
Yeah.
One thing to know is we actually traveled a long distance. It's when you turn. That's when it flies off the car.
Yep.
So we went all the way. We were in Port Dalhousie at the time in the lower parking lot, and it didn't fall off the car until we made a left-hand turn onto Martindale. So we went all the way Main Street, all the way through, because we were just driving straight, right? And when we made that turn, it was in the bushes on the right-hand side.
But you did find it.
Yeah, we found it. It was damaged.
How did you know to look there?
We just retraced our steps and realized that, okay, it probably didn't fall off when we were driving straight.
Because at least a cell phone's got some, it's got some heft to it, right?
We thought it might have been when we were climbing the hill out of Port Dalhousie.
Yeah.
Right, out of the lower level parking lot there. But it wasn't there, so we checked there and said, well, we're driving straight, so it's not just going to... I mean, it could have, but that's a long stretch of road. The next more obvious place is, where did we make our first turn?
Right.
And it was right there, the left onto Martindale. So we said, okay, so we checked the grass right in that area, and lo and behold, it was sitting right there.
Look at you and Hercule Poirot, a little, the gray cells.
Hey, not bad, not bad.
Not bad at all, not bad at all. I want to come back to a story we tried to do this week, was the pickleball situation in Niagara on the Lake, specifically around
crazy.
The complex in Virgil, where the pickleball courts were shut down. Both the town and the club were fined because of a noise bylaw infraction. It probably started with the ridiculous noise bylaw that Niagara on the Lake has in the first place, but that's another story. Now, we did reach out to John Hindle, who is the president of the Niagara on the Lake Pickleball Association. Is that what it is? Club. Niagara on the Lake Pickleball Club. Every time I say pickleball, I think it must be something that is a joke, but it's not. Pickleball is no joke. It's become absolutely huge as a pastime. And not just for all ages, but anyway,
Leo, just stop you short. Do you know why it's called pickleball?
Yes. Well, kind of, sort of. The guy that it has something to do with the guy that invented the game. His daughter, or it has to do with one of his kids, doesn't it?
His dog was named Pickles.
His dog was named Pickles.
And whenever they would play this new sport, Pickles would run on the court and chase after the ball. So they just called it pickleball.
Pickleball.
That's why it's called pickleball. Yeah. But apparently not going to be playing any pickleball in Niagara on the Lake.
Unless it's indoors. Because, I mean, apparently the community has offered them to play inside, which is not nearly as comfortable or safe or whatever as it is outside. But, so the judge, and this stemmed from a complaint of one person. One. I don't even know how to talk about this seriously because it makes such little sense. But it went to the courts. The judge decided, hey, I'm sorry, town of or city of or whatever it is, burg of Niagara on the Lake, you have infringed upon your own bylaw. Really? Yes. The way the bylaw reads, Niagara on the Lake has broken its own bylaw. So, with that being said, so has the club violated its bylaw. The original judgment was for, I think, a couple of $1,000s each, and the lawyer for the club bargained it down to like $1,000, like half of what it was. Because, it's a small club. $2,000 is going to debilitate just about everything that they have. And on top of that, there is what they're calling a 2-year probation. What does that mean? Does that mean after 2 years you can play it again? Or does that mean after 2 years, if you play it again, you can be fined again? I don't I don't understand. But it is the most ridiculous miscarriage of municipal bylaw judgment that I have ever heard of in my life. And to this woman that complained, I'm sorry, these people have been playing there. These courts were open to 2016 or something. It's been
2019.
2019. But it's been a communication recreation park for much, much longer. The community center in Niagara on the Lake has been there or in Virgil actually, has been there for a long time. Where I come from, if something's happening in the daylight or the early evening hours, and you're living in the area, you put up with it. If you're getting to 10, 11 o'clock at night or something like that, what these people didn't do, you've got perhaps some sort of stable leg to stand on to say, hey, we got this noise going on at 10, 11 o'clock at night or whatever. Can we? But that's not what happened. And I'm sorry, Niagara on the Lake City Council, you need to step up. You need to revisit it. You need to appeal this. You've got to do something to bring some sense of reason to this. Pickleball play has been banned from the town's 6 outdoor courts in Virgil. Kevin, people have played tennis for 30, 40, 50 years at outdoor courts. Never once have I seen anybody say, hey, we got to get tennis out of here. We can't have these tennis courts here. This is ridiculous. No, the tennis players have been fairly free to do what they want to do. Soccer fields the same way. Now, you're not going to have a soccer field in the center of the town, but tennis, yeah. I'm sorry, folks. I don't. Everybody in Niagara is screaming foul to this, and I don't see how this can possibly end well in any way, shape, or form. And we did try to get Mr. Hindle on today to the show, and we weren't able to connect. As I understand it, if they went ahead as planned, the Niagara on the Lake Pickleball Club held their annual general meeting last night. So this would have been a really timely opportunity to talk with John Hindle about this. Now, if you are associated, here we go again, trying to remind you that this is an open line. This is an open line show. That's as much as we know. I'm sure it was discussed at great length. If the annual general meeting went ahead as planned last night, I'm assuming that this would have been discussed at great length. And if anybody is watching this feed right now, please click on that Zoom link in the post. Click on and bring us an update. Tell us what's going on, because that's all we know. And if there's a that you can talk about, there may be some confidential stuff discussed that you have a strategy that we're not supposed to know about yet or whatever. But if there is a strategy that we can know about, what your approach is going to be, because this needs to be reversed. This is not valid. If I were the judge, I'd be going home and say, like, to my wife, I had to make this stupid ruling today. Makes no sense, but I had to follow the letter of the law, and this is what I had to do. So they got to fix it. They just have to fix it. Craziness. That's like going to a minor league baseball club and saying, I don't know, the moms and dads cheering at the ballpark across the street from my condo, it's really irritating me when they have those baseball tournaments. They can't play baseball anymore. It's the same kind of deal.
Yeah, the crazy thing is that the judge sided with the complainant and then tacked down another 2 years.
Yeah.
It seems, there's the letter of the law, but then the court is there for the spirit of the law, and I don't think the spirit of the law ever said you can't play pickleball for 2 more years.
See, here's where you and I diverge. I do not believe that judges are there for the spirit of the law. They should be, but they're not, because, well, it says in the book.
That's a good point.
It says in the book, I got to rule by the book. letter of the law, that's what they're there for. They don't give a crap about the spirit of the law half the time.
That's a good point.
And that's what lawyers are for. Is there any reasonable explanation or background for making this? Think about how real people live, Judge. No. I don't believe they're there for the spirit of the law at all. They protect their ass by being there for the letter of the law.
No, you're probably right. And again, the show is wide open. I want to get to our sponsors in just a minute. We're also waiting for a local Louis to chime in here, Lee. Yeah. But something happened, I guess it was yesterday on the roundabout in Welland.
Did you find a picture of it?
No, I can search through the comments.
I don't think there is a picture of it. But we were talking about this before. So many comments have been made about that roundabout. I honestly believe that there is a company that travels across this country doing nothing but selling roundabout technology to municipalities, because they have cropped up everywhere. There's 2 of them on 7th Street alone in St. Catharines. 2 roundabouts, just not too far from each other.
I just installed one outside our bedroom.
I'm so much traffic there, is there, Kev?
Yeah, it's tough. Is everybody going in and out of the bathroom?
A lot of traffic in the bedroom there, Kev. Okay. Anyway, one of the most contentious of the roundabouts in Niagara is the one at sort of like the end, at the southerly tip of the 406. And you can go to Port Colborne, you can go into downtown Welland, et cetera, and there's 3 or 4 lanes. It's a little bit confusing for people that don't know roundabouts, but it says motor vehicle collision. I don't know what it collided with, but you know the size of garbage trucks. Garbage truck on its side. That must have been a sight in the Welland roundabout at East Main Street and Highway 406. I don't know whether it actually collided with something or somebody was going a little bit too fast around there and centrifugal force took over and it tipped over. I don't know. Again, these are things we don't know. Now, there are 314 comments. Maybe in there somehow there is an answer. If you don't know how to use a roundabout, stupid roundabout people,
for all people who hate the roundabout.
Do you remember the traffic lights, lineups to overpass it? Yeah.
Is that why Welland smelled so nice yesterday?
That's not fair.
All right, here we go. Oh, here's just a picture of the roundabout.
That is probably one of the most complicated roundabouts in Niagara. Multi-lane, and there's merging going on from different angles. I've been through there so many times, and you see people doing some really pretty funky things in there.
Yeah, I remember when they made it, Lee, and I thought it was bizarre to end a 400 series highway with a roundabout.
Yeah, well.
I mean, it is kind of weird, and I also thought that they were solving a problem that didn't really exist. Yeah, when CTFS got out, it got pretty busy there.
Okay.
So 4:30 in the afternoon, it was really busy at that intersection, but other times, now granted, traffic does flow through there nicely.
This supports my contention of the fact that I honestly believe there is a company somewhere or an engineering firm somewhere that is crossing this country, or at least this province, selling roundabout technology and research. I lived in Collingwood, Ontario for a little while. Within a stretch of 15 kilometers, there were 4 roundabouts to control the traffic in and out of that area from Toronto and the vacation area and Georgian Bay and all that stuff. And then 2 of them on 7th Street alone. That big one in Welland, the one in Virgil, right by Wayne Gretzky Winery, there is another one. The Mountain Road. They took the intersection out of Mountain Road and the Queen Elizabeth Highway. There's a roundabout there, and they said there were too many accidents, and there's a bunch of accidents on roundabouts now. The disappearing lane on the traffic circle causes confusion. I've been around many all over North America, and I think Welland is the worst I've seen. For anyone concerned, the driver is safe. Oh, that I was concerned about that, because when those garbage trucks don't look like they have a lot of security for the driver. For anyone concerned, the driver's safe with minimal injuries, will remain in hospital. Thank you, Stephanie, for putting that up, because I was thinking about the driver for sure. Okay, now, for the record, the driver was only going 4 kilometers an hour. Oh my God. So this takes away my comment about speed. The driver was going only 4 kilometers an hour at the point of tipping. The problem was they just uploaded their garbage at the dump and were now proceeding to unload the biodegradable load at a separate dump. This caused an uneven load in the truck, and when it took the roundabout, she went over. I work with the mother of the second employee in that truck. Okay, Todd, thank you. That's the kind of clarity that, because the initial thing, what are people going to initially think? Speed. So not that at all, just an uneven load because of the daily grind of uploading and unloading garbage, waste material.
Yeah, but that's crazy that's a situation they're put in every time. It seems that that's the system. We dump the garbage,
and we pick it up,
and then we go to another location. Well, then we go to another location to dump the biodegradable stuff.
Yeah.
So the green bin and the garbage, they go into separate sides of the truck. Have you ever seen them load it?
Oh, yeah.
So the green bin is full on one side of the truck, and they empty the garbage, so now it's always going to be an uneven load. Like, every day they must be dealing with this.
I was going to say, if that's the case, it's a wonder we don't have more of these situations of rollovers and uneven loads causing problems. Huh.
I'm glad everybody's okay, but you're right, it could be pretty dangerous.
Yeah. Well, there could have been somebody underneath there. There could have been, when this tipped over, there could have been another car there.
Could have been a guy on the back. I mean, I guess you're not traveling on the 400, holding on the back, but those...
Yeah, no. But there's still two people, and they like I said before, they still don't look like they're festooned with airbags. They don't look like the safest vehicle to drive. I'm sure there's safety precautions that I'm not aware of, but still, it's not a comfortable place to be. You're pretty vulnerable, I would think. Before we go any further, we get caught up in these stories, and we know that you see the logos of our supporters and our sponsors all of the time on our screen, but we want to take time out to verbally acknowledge them as well. Gales Gas Bars for fueling this program as our title sponsor, a rainbow registered company, as you will note by the colorful bars at the top of their Facebook page. They've been sponsoring our program now for quite some time, almost since its inception. At the very beginning, we were just doing this gratis on our own, and there were people that wanted to come on after that and help sponsor what we did here for Niagara. And Gales Gas Bars stepped up and said, "Hey, yeah, we'd like to get behind you 110%," and so they did. Our title sponsor, our premier sponsor, Gales Gas Bars, fueling this program, and we thank you for that. Their CEO, Jessica Friesen, is becoming such a force in business in Niagara and a representative of Niagara. She is a published author. She is the driving force behind the rainbow registration of Gales, as that supportive and welcoming company, as well as the only member of the petroleum industry in Ontario to be a living wage employer. And you can do your own research into what that means, but it means that as far as the stats go in Niagara, all of their employees will not fall below a living wage level for their communities. So it's great to be associated with them. Carlo of Performance Heating and Air and your gang, I hope you had a great Father's Day, Carlo. So congratulations on yet another year sponsoring this program. We appreciate you being here, and I know you're into a busy season right now, making sure everybody's air is working properly, especially on days like this. You guys are probably pretty busy. Also, to Mark Shirk, happy Father's Day to you, Blake Shirk, and all the gang at Verge Insurance Group, serving Niagara for decades, another born and bred Niagara company. Very happy to have you guys and ladies all here with us. Kevin Jack, of course, of WeeStreem, along with his partner Brandon Scram, provides the technology and the streaming expertise behind this program. Kevin, the executive producer, kind of my boss, if you will, and a more benevolent boss I've never had. You know, I don't see a round of layoffs coming anytime soon. I know there's no vacation pay, which my people are talking to his people, and we're still discussing, like, you know, paid vacations and stuff. We're not there yet, but it's something that we'll talk about as time goes by. Kevin, all kidding aside, a pleasure to work with you. What's going on in the WeeStreem camp these days?
Well, you know what? I was going to share with you right now something that we did on Thursday, which is why people wonder sometimes, you know, why is the show on Wednesday and not on Thursday? Well, last week, we were hired by the city of Niagara Falls for something that was literally set in stone, and it was the unveiling of a Korean War memorial.
Literally set in stone. That's good.
Yeah, and a Korean War memorial at Fairview Cemetery, and we were there to record it. We also streamed it for them as well, and it was really cool. It was a big event. We had, I believe, the city was Gapyeong. Yeah. In Korea, and the mayor of Gapyeong was here, as well as other dignitaries that, you know, flew halfway around the world to be here. And we forget this sometimes. You know, the Korean War isn't top of mind, and apparently Canada played a very significant role. Yeah, and you talk to people that have been to South Korea, Canadians especially, they say how revered Canadians still are in that country and how much they love Canada. And this was testament to that. So, here, I mean, we can scrub through it a bit, and there's Mayor Jim Diodati giving some of his speech, and, you know, I'll fast forward.
That was a warm day too, wasn't it?
Oh, it was really hot. So I want to see if I can get a nice shot here of the War Memorial itself. Well, there's Mark Richardson. I know this is towards the end. That lady there. Oh, so there you go. You can kind of see it right there.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, cool.
It's beautiful. It's right beyond the tomb of the unknown soldier.
Don't we refer to that now as the Korean conflict?
Sorry, we may.
Yeah, I think so.
Here's a little look of it right here. It's very impressive, as was the ceremony.
That's awesome. That's terrific.
And again, that's right adjacent to where, if you've been to Niagara Falls and Fairview ceremony for the Remembrance Day ceremony, it's right in that same area, and of course it's open to the public. I'd encourage people to go down, especially if you have a relative that fought in the war, or the conflict, or you have any Korean connections. So go down and see it. It really is impressive, and it was a nice ceremony.
Setting. Yeah, very, very nice setting. That's kind of across from Niagara Falls City Hall, isn't it?
Fairview Mall is Fairview Mall. Gosh, Fairview Cemetery is on Stanley.
Stanley, okay.
Just around the bend, so kind of by the 4-pad, right where Bridge.
Right.
So Bridge Street intersects with Stanley, and it's right there. There you go. That's a nice look of it.
That's terrific.
Yeah, it's very nice.
And you're correct. It is one of those conflicts that is often overlooked when you talk about the so-called big wars, because it happened right on the heels of World War II. Actually, the early 1950s, was it not, that the Korean conflict was underway?
I believe the battle, and specifically celebrated here, was 1951. Yeah. So you're bang on.
Yeah. There's another, if you ever have an opportunity to go to Washington, D.C., and of course, D.C. is the memorial capital of North America because of it being the capital of the United States. There are more memorials there and monuments than you can shake a stick at. And it's fabulous because of that. The museums are all free to go through, and et cetera. It in spite of the political crap and the subterfuge that goes on in the capital, it's an amazing place to visit and see. And one of the incredible monuments, Kevin, is to the Korean War vets. We'll call it the Korean War for the lack of a better phrase, from North America that fought over there. And it's a field of statues walking as if in military formation through a field, through a lawn. It's just awe-inspiring. They look real. It's a wonderful thing to see, and you compare that and you combine that with the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument and like the Jefferson Memorial and all these places. It's a phenomenal place to visit, even if you don't agree with their politics. believe me, you should put, if you have a travel itinerary or a bucket list of travel places to see, if you've never done Washington, D.C., do it. And it's drivable from here. It's not that far, but it's worthwhile seeing. And kudos to the community and to Niagara Falls for putting that monument in place, and to WeeStreem for putting that up on the
Lee,
up on site.
Interesting you should say that. My sister's in Niagara Falls today. She lives in Toronto. She's in Niagara Falls for a convention. She just got back from another convention in Memphis a couple of weeks ago. Yep. And she was showing us some photos of Memphis. And in Memphis, they have, I'm not sure if it's a Black History Museum or what it is, but the museum is actually attached to the preserved motel, the Lorraine Motel, where Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. Right. And she showed me a photo of it. She said, man, it was eerie. And she showed me a photo. And as soon as I saw that photo, I'm like, yeah, that's where Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated.
All of us that remember the various documentaries, or those of us that are old enough to remember the event itself, that shot of that balcony outside that cheesy motel is forever etched in our mind's eye.
And they preserved it, and there are
that's cool. I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, there's cars of that era right outside, and then attached to it in the back is kind of a bigger museum. But I guess that would be kind of the facade. Here, I'll see if I can bring it up, Lee.
While you're doing that, I had to acknowledge something that was not related to Niagara, but we all related to the story. You will remember a number of years ago, a man by the name of Marco Muzzo got off a plane drunk, got into a car, and as a result of that had an accident with a family. The 3 children and their grandfather were killed in that accident. Well, this past week on Father's Day, I believe it was, I could be wrong by one day, but I think it was on Father's Day. Edward Lake, the father of those children and the son-in-law of their grandfather, was found dead as a result of suicide. And I say that because that was the official release. And I just thought that was one of the saddest stories to come out of the week, and I'm not going to dwell on it, but rest in peace, Edward Lake. Hopefully you're reunited with your children by now.
Yeah, so really, I'll see if I can dig up the Lorraine Motel for you.
Okay.
And just so you know, we do have local Louie waiting in the conference.
We got local Louie on?
Yeah, we got him here, but let's see what we can do here.
All
and
right.
Just look at some of the images.
There you go, Civil Rights Museum at the Lorraine. Yeah, look at, oh my gosh.
I mean, here, this is from the National Park Service, so that's how it looks today.
Oh, that's exactly the way it looked at the time. Only probably a better paint job than it had at the time. Oh, that sends chills down my spine, Kevin.
It was eerie, and it was amazing how, and you mentioned before, you can name all these things. I saw it and in an instant knew that's exactly where that is.
Yeah. Oh, that's awe-inspiring, it is. Such a pivotal moment in history that shall never, I hope, never be forgotten. Local Louie.
Lee.
How are you, buddy?
I'm amazing. Can you hear me, Lee?
I can hear you, Louie. Digital content creator and friend of the Camp Cataract event this weekend. What's going on, buddy?
Well, what we're doing at Camp Cataract on Friday is we're hosting a little karaoke night. Well, I am specifically. And we're trying to get everyone out because it's the Mainly Niagara 3rd year anniversary. It's something that Sherry Hawkins created, something that I got to be a part of very early in its inception. And we've all been together. We've all been a tight-knit crew, a good family. So we've all stuck together, and we made what could be one of the biggest networks in Niagara Falls in general, so in Niagara region. So we want to invite everyone and give back to them. It's just $2 at the door. If you can't make it, we'll put the donation in for you. But we just want to try to get everyone out and have a good time. I love karaoke. Lee, I've been taking a lot of vocal lessons soon, so
I
might be giving you a run for your money for the voice acting.
You
never know.
Okay. Well, as far as karaoke is concerned, you won't have any competition coming from me. So you'll be just fine. And tell us again where it is.
So it's at Camp Cataract, and Camp Cataract is all the way down at the end of Queen Street, right across from City Hall. You can't miss it. It's a great vibe. It's like a very campy atmosphere. It reminds me like you're going into Friday the 13th. Like what it does is it reminds me of you're going to Camp Crystal Lake, but Camp Crystal Lake serves booze and some of the best food you could have with some of the best people and a good time.
Oh, okay. So are you going to be performing? Or are you just emceeing it?
Well, maybe I'll do a song or two, Lee, if you're lucky. I usually charge for that, but I guess we're charging donations at the door, so I owe it to the people for them to see this little songbird sing. You owe it to the people to see you perform. Yeah.
Well, okay.
Lots changed since you seen me last, Lee. A lot has changed.
Yeah, I know. You've been pretty busy. What else is going on in your life?
Well, I do some acting on the side, and I recently just finished up a pretty big project.
We're breaking up, Luke.
Yeah, he said he's joining on location. Looks like you got, you're right, like what, the Chippewa docks there with the Welland River behind you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at the Chippewa docks. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can now.
Is it better? Hello?
Yeah,
okay. I'm working on a little... Go ahead, Lee.
No,
you're just a little choppy right now, man.
Hello?
Yeah, I was driving through there, Lee. I don't know. Your connections are more to like Black Creek right here. We'll see if we can get him back here in a second. Get a smoother connection. Was driving through Chippewa on Sunday on my way to Rapids View Park for Rotary Rib Fest in Niagara Falls on Father's Day.
Right, yeah.
And took a drive, and you just forget how lucky we are and how beautiful that area is.
So many areas
all the boats there,
here,
and right where Louis is. Seems we may have a better connection with Louis here. Try him again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. We've just got kind of a funky connection there, Louis.
It's Chippewa, right? No, not Chippewa.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen. So we're going to let you go, man, because it's a little too choppy. But at least we got the important information.
You did
out there, yeah. As far as the karaoke,
that's what we got to tell the people. We tell all the people come to camp Friday.
Come to the Camp Cataract on Friday. Will do. Have fun, man. Enjoy it, and we'll talk to you soon, I hope.
Thank you so much. I'll be on the show hopefully next week, maybe.
Okay. Cheers.
We'll see you again soon.
Yep. There you go. There it is. Jello shots and karaoke Friday, June 24th, this Friday at Camp Cataract. All right. And of course it's up on Facebook, and you can find out the details. What do you say, $20?
I think he said $2.
Oh yeah, $2, not 20. Yeah. Sorry, I moved the decimal point over. Okay.
Yeah, you're not reselling, are you? You're reselling tickets? Speaking of, we're not too far away from Born and Raised, when Dallas Green brings the whole troupe, the Alexis on Fire, the City in Color, and all their friends to Montebello Park, coming up June 30th, July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Just, a couple weekends away from that. It's going to be pretty monumental in downtown St. Catharines. I got my tickets. So very much looking forward to that. Lee, what would be your go-to if you had to do karaoke? I wanted to ask Louis that. But I figured I would ask you.
My go-to, if I were going to do karaoke, maybe some CCR stuff that I used to perform years ago. Maybe House of the Rising Sun. That's not CCR, that's Animals and Beyond. Actually, nobody ever knows. You know that song, House of the Rising Sun, is an enigma, wrapped up in a confusion, because nobody really knows who wrote it.
Really?
Yep, it's an anonymous. If you go into the history books, no one really knows where the original version of House of the Rising Sun came from.
So it's not, who was it, the Zombies or the Animals?
Animals.
Animals.
Animals had the big hit with it in the 60s. A lot of people have recorded it. Many people perform it, including myself, and over the years, but nobody really knows who the original composer of that song is. It's a real It's a real history piece. And of course, it is believed to have been written by one of the old blues boys, maybe Robert Johnson or one of those guys back in New Orleans, because it's about a house of ill repute in the city of New Orleans, which of course is one of my favorite cities. Been there a few times and I just love it down there. So
is that what it's about?
Yeah.
A whorehouse?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hey, Lee, getting back to the news stuff before we run out of time here. Oh, and you know what? For musical guests, we're going to feature a band that local Louis actually reps, a trio from Niagara Falls, Gin.
Yeah, Gin.
Yeah, so they got, I think, a video for Get Back, so we'll play that.
Get Back?
Here's one. And
is it the Get Back?
I'm not sure. We'll find out whether it's a cover or whether it's their original. I'm not sure.
All right.
But here's something we just have to touch on, because this is absurd.
This was a good one. This popped up on Niagara 411, I think, this morning, or it was a day ago, whatever. OPP stops this tow truck, and we use that term lightly, if you want to call it a tow truck, for a safety inspection yesterday, which, of course, as you will see, it failed. And further, the driver was found to be suspended. The vehicle was removed, the driver fined, etc. So look at, now it's carrying a high-end vehicle, as you can see, with the Beamer there, and it's got these weird kind of wheels. There's a close-up of the wheels, too, is there not? Look at that. Look at the tread on that. That's got maybe another 10 minutes to live, that tire. They look like wheelbarrow tires.
Somebody was towing a car?
Yeah, behind a pickup truck, I think. I mean, this is obviously a homemade trailer. See the pickup truck in the front, and then this homemade trailer thingy. It's pretty inventive, actually, what this guy did. But obviously, it doesn't meet the rules and regs of what you would refer to as a safe towing apparatus. And top it all off, the driver was already suspended from driving. But yeah, the things you see, and the chances that some people take, we'll be all right. Nobody's gonna see us or care. Well, somebody did see them, and somebody does care, and thank goodness they do, because you never know what's going to happen there. That's fun. Not fun for the guy that I don't know whether he owned the Beamer or not, but I would think it would have been safer to drive the Beamer all by itself than tow it on that thing, if it was still running.
That's an absurd one. And there was there something similar on the community tab?
I don't know. While you're looking that up, I did want to mention that there was also a post that there have been 2 or 3 rabid skunks identified in St. Catharines. So in any community in Niagara, be aware of wild animals. If they look too friendly or they're coming too close, better beware than to not beware. Yeah, put the...
oh, yeah. So I'm just saying that, so monkeypox wasn't enough. Now we got rabies skunks?
Monkeypox.
We got rabies skunks?
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be lining up for your monkeypox vaccinations over at the 4-pad, and you're going to need monkeypox verification before you get on an airplane. And no. Anyway, yeah, so here you see a pretty snappy-looking, sportsy designed Lexus, as best I can tell. To the person who owns this from Sarah vehicle and drove down Arthur Street, Niagara Falls, at around 8:30 Monday, you need to come back and swap your insurance. I don't know what that means, but anyway, bring your insurance before it's brought to the police as you hit a vehicle parked on the road, broke off the driver's side mirror. Plenty of cameras caught you, and it'll be given to the NRPS. Yeah, she says it's a Lexus as well, and that's all I can say right now. Please share this so we can find the driver. Now, I know that most of us, if we do something stupid, we would prefer to not be identified as being stupid or having done something wrong. But most of us, Mr. Lexus or Mrs. Lexus driver, don't just run away. I mean, you take the mirror off somebody's car, you're going to stop. We're going to stop and find the owner of the car. It's not like you're going to jail. Yeah, it's going to cost you a few bucks on your insurance to fix their car or whatever it is, but do the right thing, for heaven's sake. You take the mirror off somebody's car. Were you going too fast? Maybe. Were you not paying attention? Maybe. Who knows why it happened? Just stop and take responsibility for your actions. If more people took responsibility for our actions, we wouldn't have a lot of the problems that we have. We might not have a judge making a decision to ban pickleball in Niagara-on-the-Lake. I rest my case. But yeah, so there you go. I did something like that, only it was to a police car. I was driving.
What, you sideswiped a police car?
No, not really sideswiped, but I was in downtown Penticton in South Okanagan in the BC area, and I was driving a big Yukon. And you know they have the mirrors that will fold in, right, so that you get a little bit more space? Well, I'm driving down this it's the main street, but there's traffic coming the other way, and there's a cop car, actually cop SUV, an Explorer, parked on the side. So I was watching traffic over here, I'm driving over here, and my mirror hit the mirror of the police vehicle. All it did, thank goodness, was just fold my mirror in. It didn't take his mirror off. So it's sort of a safety feature. But I stopped because you hit a police vehicle. You kind of think you should stop. So I went back and there was no harm done, and everybody was fine. Giggle. Everything was a ha-ha.
Now, Lee, you may have seen me go outside. I was going out there to install this camera, and the rain has begun.
It has begun,
it's
yes.
It's still very humid out there. It hasn't cut through the humidity
Not yet? Okay, well.
Yeah, so maybe there's more to come.
Yeah, I think the heat warning is up till something like 7 or 8 o'clock tonight, 9 o'clock tonight. And there's still a chance of thunderstorms and that kind of thing.
And look, Lee, we got, you can come down right now when we wrap up the show.
Sit in the beautiful window front. That is a lovely modern garage door apparatus that on drier days is wide open, and it's like sitting on a patio and not on a patio all at the same time. You can come in here and have a nice lunch or a nice dinner at Fiddler's Poorhouse, whom we thank, by the way, for always treating us so well here every Wednesday or Thursday. And the reason we're doing these things at slightly different days, and we know sometimes you get used to something at a certain time, is because everybody's lives are fluid, including WeeStreams, and there are different people all the time contacting Kevin and Brandon to help them out with their events. And of course, we're more flexible with this show because it's always archived. All of our programs are archived forever and a day online. Kevin, let me ask you that question so that you can make it perfectly clear. If somebody misses a show, now we do, in case you missed it, clips over the course of the week. But if somebody, for example, this week tunes us in at noon on Thursday, which is our regular time, and find out we're not there, how do they find us?
Okay, here, you know what, Lee? Let's walk through the process because it's really easy. So you land on the Niagara 411 page, right? So here's kind of your opening page for Niagara 411. Everybody goes there. So you scroll down. Now, you could just keep scrolling until you hit our post, right? And if you tuned in tomorrow, it would be a day behind if you tuned in a couple days from now.
But we'll be there.
The easiest way is to move across the top here. And you see all of these that I'm moving, all the different tabs. One there is videos. Click on videos. There you see we are live now.
Boom.
The most popular, of course, that's us. And in here you see all the videos. So the one on the top, that's this current video that we're making now. There's some in case you missed it posts. And then you'll find, and there you see the ICYMI, that's in case you missed it. So those are just excerpts of the show. Yeah. If you want to see the entire show, there's last week's show right there.
Yeah, right in the middle. So if there's anything you want to clarify, you think you heard something or you think you didn't hear something or whatever, we're there forever. We're like a time capsule. It's not going anywhere. You can also find us on YouTube if you want to go to YouTube and search for Niagara 411 Live. All of our episodes are there as well. We are
Lee, I'll show them that one as well.
Okay, do that.
I'll see what happens if you search for Niagara 411 Live. It'll probably come up. I upload them all to the WeeStream channel. So there you go. There's WeeStream right there. So So here, I'll see what happens if we search on YouTube for Niagara 411 Live. And there you go.
There we are.
So there's episodes going way back. And of course, if you know how to navigate YouTube, right, you can click on any of the videos you want to watch, and then from there, here's the channel right here. It says WeeStream. So you click on that, it'll bring you to our channel, and from there on the top, click videos, and there you'll see. So there's the funeral service for Katrina Blagden, for example, and all of our subsequent shows.
Yeah. So we are carved in history for forever out there. So there's no way you're going to miss the show. It's always nice if you can join us when we do it live. In case you do want to join us in the moment, that would be great. But we're always available. Can't get rid of us that easily. Kevin, we are going to hear from Jin. Actually, we saw local Louis a few moments ago. This is a group that he's working closely with, sort of promoting them and working on with them on their career. And they've got a video they're going to be up here and a song in just a few minutes called Get Back. I want to thank once again Gales Gas Bars Limited for fueling this program. Also Performance Heating and Air, Verge Insurance Group. Kevin, always a pleasure working with you. I look forward to these shows every single week. And also to Fiddler's Poorhouse for keeping us warm and or cool and dry here inside while we do this show. My name is Lee Sterry of Lee Sterry Voice Services, and this has been episode 25 of Niagara 411 Live. Enjoy gin, enjoy the rest of the day, have yourselves a fabulous weekend when it gets here. It's going to get cooler a little bit later, but in the meantime, try to do your best to not get too hot and overdo it, all right? Have a great day. Thanks for being here. Cheers.
Folded neatly in my wallet. I've been working up a stash. Well, I don't need love or flowers and pieces for the cowards. I just want the smell of money in my pocket every hour. I feel it coming near with the dream and I've done that. This time next year might be counting all my hands to look out. For a lower price on gas. Yes, I'll do it for the dollar. I'd watch the market crash. Now I'm begging for your power, but you judge me from your tower. And you take the means to buy it from my pocket every hour. Listen, I feel it coming near with the dream and I demand. You know, this time next year gonna be a girl and all my hands to the ground. look out, all you sinners. Watch the holy rolling grinners. Take the food from your plates and claim it as their own for dinner. I said, look out, all you sinners. Watch the holy rolling grinners. Take the food from your plates and claim it as their own for dinner. I told them, get back.